Hello and welcome to our webinar, How to Reinvent Your Close by Adding eSignatures and Payments by Sertifi. I'm Chris Cook, Director of Business Development here at Conga. I'm responsible for the Conga Alliance Partner Program, and I have the distinct pleasure of working with our Conga partners to find solutions to make our customers even more successful. Conga integrates with many of the apps on the App Exchange, and we encourage you to make purchase decisions based on your evaluation of these apps. Today it's my pleasure to be joined by Laura Johnston, Director of Sales at Sertifi. Laura's going to tell you a little bit more about Sertifi and share some ways our joint customers are driving sales and closing business faster. I'm then going to show you a demo of how Conga Composer and Sertifi work together. I'll be showing specifically 4 ways Conga and Sertifi can speed the sales process and capture revenue faster. A couple of housekeeping tips. Everyone is muted. Not that we don't love you, but we'll be having an open Q&A at the end of the webinar. So if you have questions, please send them to us in the question window, and we'll get to those at the end of our session. With that, it's my pleasure to turn this over to Laura Johnston.
Thank you, Chris, and hello, everyone. Hope this finds everyone doing well. Like Chris mentioned, I'm Laura Johnston, the Director of Sales here at Sertifi. Chris, if you want to go to the next slide, we'll kind of jump in here. My portion will be relatively brief. Just want to tell you a little bit about our company as well as our integration with Conga. So we were established here in Chicago in 2006. Chicago is where our headquarters resides, also home to one of our largest and longest standing customers, which is CareerBuilder. In the same breath, CareerBuilder actually has been with us since 2007, and we were recently named Vendor of the Year by them, which was a great honor. Along with CareerBuilder, we have thousands of other customers that currently use our solution across a wide variety of industries, including, definitely not limited to, marketing and advertising, SaaS companies, hospitality, cloud services, and of course consulting. I think it's important, though, that you all know that we aren't just an electronic signature solution, like Chris said, rather a closing automation solution working with Conga. We help you collaborate with your customers as well as collect PCI-compliant payments to make the last mile of your sales process a faster, more fluid one. This webinar, like Chris mentioned, is all about our integration with Conga and how our current customers are using our solutions together, which we're really excited about. Our current Conga with Sertifi customers really appreciate how easy the solution works together and how it's a seamless way to automate the last mile of your close. So we'll go to the next slide. We do have an overall rating of a 4.9, as you'll see here on the App Exchange, which we're really pumped about because it's the highest rating in our category. We can equate a lot of that to, like Conga, our amazing support and customer success staff. So you'll see here we have highlighted a review written by a Conga and Sertifi customer, and I definitely encourage you all to head over to the App Exchange to take a look at our reviews. Next slide. Like I mentioned before earlier, we don't have a niche market that we work with, as you can see by a handful of our customers that we currently work with here. With customers both domestically and internationally, we can work with just about any use case in any industry, whether that be SMB market as well as enterprise. So next slide. As a business, you obviously want what's best for your customers, and you'll see here, given the option, 97% of signers prefer to sign electronically, which tells you that there is a way to improve your current workflow so it's easier for your customers to actually do business with you. Next slide. With that being said, we are seeing our current customers actually getting contracts and other documents signed more than 50% faster than those traditional methods, whether that being faxing out or emailing out and print, sign, and scanning. So next slide. You can see here actually one of our Conga and Sertifi customers, which is HomeSphere. By using our solutions together, they reduce costs by no longer needing an internal developer, decrease a lot of support time. We're able to track and manage every deal, every document, and also increase their customer satisfaction. Next slide. You also see here on this benefits page some other benefits, including speeding up the sales process, eliminating high costs, and enhancing security, which is huge, and reducing PCI scope if you're collecting payments. So that is my brief overview there, and Chris will go ahead and do his demo. We'll do a Q&A, as he mentioned, afterwards. We do have a slide at the end of Chris's portion, which will tell you how to sign up for a demo and receive a gift card from us, as well as a chance to meet us at Dreamforce, some information there. So we'll talk to you then during Q&A, and Chris, I'll let you take it from here.
Laura, thanks so much. All right, let me hop quickly to a familiar screen in Salesforce to give you a little more detail and kind of walk you through the entire experience, document generation, that e-signature experience and signing experience with a couple of Conga and Sertifi solutions. The first one is going to be an opportunity-specific quote demo. So we're going to be generating a quote document with details from this opportunity, so it looks very familiar, and then be able to create a contract and agreement via Sertifi and send that for signature. I'll also hop in as the signer and show you what that experience is, and I probably will ask Laura to hop in and speak to a little bit of the Sertifi signing experience pieces that I really think is worth highlighting. So let me hop to it here real quick. From a Conga Composer solution, it's going to be very similar that you'll see before. We'll be creating a custom button on this opportunity. We'll be gathering that information to create that quote document, and then be able to, in addition to what you might already know about opening up those documents or sending them via email or attaching them to an object, now we're going to do a handshake with Sertifi and send that to create that Sertifi contract. So we go ahead and initiate this. This is the standard Conga Composer user interface. So what you'll see here is very similar to what current Conga customers have seen. You'll see a list of those templates. In this case, excuse me, in this solution, we've actually narrowed it down with a template group to just show those particular templates that would be used in a Sertifi solution, and that can be designated in that button with a template group parameter. So pretty straightforward that way. Shows you the templates that are available. You'll notice that we've pre-selected that quote and proposal Word document. That's what we're going to use. You could also, as a user, select these different ones as well, but pure Conga Composer, we're able to show kind of a subset of those templates, pre-select one. You'll also see that we're going to output this as an Adobe PDF, and in the action, you'll notice that typically without that Sertifi parameter and instruction, you'd have a download an email option, but since we've specified this solution is going to go directly through Sertifi for delivery, that's pre-selected. We're not going to save a copy or log any activity. We're going to do all that on the Sertifi side that you'll be able to see in a related list, and then we are going to update some fields, and I'll show you what that looks like as well. So everything here is pretty straightforward. We're going to go ahead and click Merge and Sertifi. You'll notice that button is customized based on the delivery as well. So we're gathering that information from that opportunity, from the products, from those contact roles. And now what you'll see is we've landed on the Sertifi for Salesforce Create Folder section. And what we've done here really kind of tells you what those next steps are going to be. We've created a folder, and this folder is going to contain those documents for signature, other reference documents if you want to deliver those, and some payment information that we'll see next. But we were able to customize that folder name with a parameter that says we want this to be the Conga quote with the account name and then today's date. So as a reference, when we see that in our process, we'll be able to see some kind of date stamp and specifically there. The signing method defaults to electronic. we are able to customize and add a specific email invite message. I didn't do that for this demo, but that is something that we can customize as well. And you'll notice this is actually a new feature in our latest version of parameters for Composer and Sertifi is we're grabbing the expiration date of this particular contract and folder from a field on the opportunity. And I'll hop back and show you what that looks like. But there's a expiration date that we've created as a formula field, and as part of that configuration, we've said please populate the expiration date of this Sertifi contract with that date that ties up to the opportunity. Okay. You can add participants at this point, participants meaning those signers or other carbon copy recipients. What we've been able to do and have done here is we've pre-selected those signers. So the first and second signer, you'll see down here, Melanie Glover, Casey Cooley are our first and second signers, and those are signers that we have pre-selected from the opportunity contact roles. We've said please go get our technical buyer and our economic decision maker and have those be the first and second signers respectively. You can also add additional signers here, either from a contact record in Salesforce or just a direct email address if that recipient is not a contact in Salesforce. Okay. So we've selected our folder name. We have our participants here, our signers. We're going to go ahead and click Next. What this brings up now is actually the folder and the content we're going to add to that folder. So you'll notice that we've already got our signing document. This is what we created with Conga Composer, that quote. You'll notice here as well, you can also add additional files or additional documents to this folder. So if you wanted to add another signing document, you could also add a reference document if at some point in time you wanted to add some static information. Maybe it's some marketing information, product information, company collateral of some sort, but you can always do that as well. You can add that as an attachment or something from notes and attachments on that opportunity. So it gives you the opportunity at this point to add some additional documents, like I said, either as a reference or signing document. What I want to stop on and talk here is that this really sets Sertifi apart is the ability to, as part of this signing process, not only is it a e-sign process, but it's a way to capture payments. And we've got the ability here to actually add a payment request as part of that folder and contract. And what we've done is, again, specified a description. This is merely telling us there's the account name and the type of the opportunity, but we've preset that within Conga Composer to say give us a pretty succinct and specific description as far as that payment. And we've pre-selected the amount of that payment and type, the amount as the opportunity amount, and also the type as one time. You don't see it here, but it's not a recurring payment. You do have the ability with Sertifi to also set up a recurring payment. So we've specified this. We're going to go ahead and add that payment request to the folder. So now we're all set to send to our two signatures, our signing document, which is our quote, and also that payment request. I'll go ahead and click Send for Signature. That package has been sent. We'll return back now to our opportunity within Salesforce, and you'll see a couple of things here have changed. I mentioned that quote expiration date. We went ahead and that was what was pre-selected in that payment. What else we did is that update field, and on the Conga Composer checkbox you saw that we were going to update that. Within Conga Composer we use a function called master field to set, and what we did as part of that process was update the last Conga activity field to say that we created a quote. The Sertifi additional widgets and licenses is the name of that opportunity, and then today's date as well. So this can also be done to set a stage, can update a date field. In this case, we did a concatenated text field that we added some information to. So that's all part of Conga Composer. And importantly, you'll notice here's the created Sertifi e-contract that shows the name of the file, which we specified, the account when it was created, if it's been opened, partially signed, and signed. And we can see some details in here around that actual Sertifi contract. I can get it to open up here, which shows here's our information about the opportunity, the account. We have our signers listed here, Melanie and Casey. we've got the actual document, we've got the payment that is here with a status. It says it's outstanding with the recurrence of one time. And really important is you'll be able to see from this e-contract detail, which again sits as a related object on that Salesforce opportunity, the entire activity of this particular contract, when a signer is invited, when they open, when they sign. So you have all of your details around the status of that particular contract right here in Salesforce and related to that piece. I'm going to hop over to my email. I did set both of those signers to a Gmail account that I have. So I'm going to act now as one of those signers. You'll notice here that it's coming from Worlds Away, which is the account org name that I'm using for this demo. And what you'll see is I've prepared this documents. It specifies the documents, gives some instruction here. Also, one thing that I really like is that this is not necessarily hitting you over the head with Sertifi logos. You can customize this for your own logo, but it's very, very customizable for the signing experience for that signer. I'm going to go ahead and click here to review. This is going to initiate the Sertifi signing process within Salesforce. But I want to stop here, and Laura, I'm going to unmute you here for a moment. But this is, again, something that's kind of unique to Sertifi, is prior to going into the review and sign or the submit payment process, you stop here at a particular screen. And Laura, would you mind just explaining a little bit about this and kind of what you guys have seen and kind of the feedback you get from this this kind of, what would you call it, a signing room or e-sign room?
Yes, exactly. And so basically it takes you have the option to skip this page. A lot of people, especially those who need to collaborate a little bit on or have questions, can use this forum as a way to talk, if you will, back and forth. Everything will feed back into Salesforce on that related list on the activities, as well as go back into Chatter and Salesforce if you want. So maybe somebody else has this account 6 months from now, they can actually see everything that's been said outside of like an email. So you can, again, skip this if you want. A lot of people like it. It's all customized. You can see Chris there in his picture as the sender. You can have their contact information. There is a default message there on that first slide, or in our through our wizard. You can see that he could have written another message, so you can do that on the fly if you like. This is just a default one. Chris then just wrote as the signer there. We'll go back in. Everybody gets notifications. You can turn those on and off. So you can hop right back into this collaboration room from your phone or from your email, whatever it might be. And this is just a great way to answer questions before they go and sign, if there are any. Usually what you'll see is that somebody will hop into the document, they look at it, have questions. So instead of saying, I'll call them later or I'll email them later, they just ask the question right then and there. So it really does speed up that process. And then they can hop into the document to sign as well as pay.
Wonderful. That's terrific, Laura. Thanks. So let me go through the review and sign process. So from this e-sign room, you were able to click on review and sign. It'll open up that document, and here's that Conga quote that we generated. We've got information, again, regarding our company. We've got, this is just a standard Word document template, pulling information from that opportunity, some images as well. We've built this up to show software in a different way, some implementation services. But we'll go ahead and click the signing instructions field, and what we've put in here is a signature field that allows for me, I'm acting as that first signature person today, to go ahead and sign electronically, and then go ahead and really quickly click Finish and Submit electronically. And that's it. It's really quick, very, very easy. Those signature tags can be built into the Conga template to be recognized by those different signers when they get to this particular spot. So it takes us back to the e-sign room if we wanted to post any questions, other pieces that way. We can close out of that. I'm going to go back to our opportunity and show you what's been updated here. When we refresh this, is now we'll see in the Sertifi e-contract, so that's been updated, that now we've had one person partially signed, so the first signature has been updated. If we go into that actual e-contract, what you'll see is I have signed that piece. You'll see the actual activities here that I was invited. I accessed that room. I added a stream content or that eSign room comment post. I accessed the document. I went ahead and signed it, and then the second signer was invited in that respect. Now, I'm not going to go through the second signer, just to kind of give you the idea of what that process is. So very easily, and this is actually what I like to call our 4-click process. We started from the opportunity, we went ahead, initiated Conga Composer, merged that information and went through the folder setup and the actual e-contract through the Sertifi process. But now all those updates will be referenceable here on this related e-contract. You can also, within Sertifi for Salesforce, be able to see all of those e-contracts from a different bundle as well. So very much a pretty straightforward and standard way. Now I'm going to go to a couple much more automated, and when we talk about that whole speeding up that close process and making it a very, very succinct, efficient way to save time and money and those efforts, is I want to show you now a second solution with Conga Composer and Sertifi, which is our Create Invoice solution. This is actually a one-click solution. So when I click this Create Invoice with Sertifi, instead of getting that standard Conga Composer user interface, we are going through what's called background mode, where we have pre-selected our template. We've pre-selected our signers in that Create Invoice Sertifi Composer button. In this case, we've pre-selected the economic decision maker as our signer. And what happens here is the document for the signature document, the Sertifi folder, and the creation and delivery has already run in the background mode. And where this, upon completion, returns us to actually the e-contract that was created. So we didn't see anything from the Conga Composer screen, nor any of the folder or e-contract pieces. That's all been boiled down, pre-selected as a one-click option. So in those cases where you've got a pretty straightforward either contract or invoice or quoting or whatever that solution is going to be, with Conga Composer, we're able to pass those values through that Composer button, run this in the background, and speed up that process for it to be a single-click process. Okay, I'm going to go back in here. We'll see, close that real quickly. We'll see there's the signature, there's my delivery receipt, and the received signature for the other one as well. But that went ahead and sent that direct contract. We'll go back here to the opportunity and be able to see there's our second invoice contract that we saw before. Okay, so very, very easy to take that solution, automate it so that from a user standpoint, from an adoption, from a consistency standpoint, gives you the ability to do that as well. Okay, let me show you another real quick one from a separate, different object. I want to go back into the account, and now I'm going to go from a contract record. So this is a custom, could be a custom object or a different object within Salesforce, and be able to run a similar process from a contract record. Here we have some information referencing the opportunity. We've got some custom information on the contract. Again, we've got a one-click Sertifi Composer process. Similar to the previous one, the template and the signer have been pre-selected, right? The customer signed by field, now we've specified that whoever is related in this contact record becomes that signer. We have a one-click Conga message up there as well. This runs in the background mode, but you'll notice it's a little bit different that with that background mode parameter that's in that Composer button, we're able to return it now to the contract, to that master object. In the previous record, we ended up and returned to the e-contract. We have the ability to do either one of those as part of that process. But then here's that related e-contract as well. So very much gives you the ability to benefit from all the functionality of Conga Composer, but make that sales and e-signature and payment process very, very succinct, very efficient, speed that process up. The last demonstration I want to show you is a batched process, which allows us to create a batch of invoices using a product called Conga Conductor. This is our automated document delivery product that is a addition to Conga Composer, but allows for batched, in this case, batched invoices. This is a way you can do it from a list view. I'm going to do it from list view of opportunities. I'm going to go ahead and manually select from this list view all of the closed won opportunities. There's a couple different ways you can do this with Conga Conductor. You can use a list view of these records and a button. You can also use a report that would bring back, for example, those opportunities or those records that you'd want to generate. You can do this manually, as I'm going to show you, but this can also be scheduled for batched automated scheduling. So they could run every day at 5 o'clock, show me a report of all my closed won invoices, go ahead and generate the invoice document and send it via Sertifi. But this would allow a user to go ahead and initiate this. You can do up to 500 of these Composer merges and eSignature sends per batch. So in this case, I'm only doing 12, but it's going to generate Conga Conductor. The same process we'd go through where we'd click the button on that record. Now it's going through, it lists, we've got 12 opportunities selected. We're going to send these via Sertifi. We go ahead and start that Conga Conductor process. But the same way, it's going to run through the API, create the document, create the folder, the e-contract, send that for signature via Sertifi. So in a really quick chunk of time, and thank you guys for letting me go quickly through there, I wanted to show you at least those 4 different solutions. One, which would be a pretty standard user interface, the 4-click solution, but also show you a couple of automated 1-click solutions, and now with Conga Conductor, how you can also send this as a batched process for multiple records, but again, send it via Sertifi. All of these solutions that we've worked with, the customers, help them develop, worked closely with Sertifi for our parameters and for our integration. We want to speed up that process. We want to improve productivity, make it a 1 or 2-click process, make it be consistent. So you're sending those same documents, right? We want to lower the cost with that e-signature. We don't want to spend time, customizing documents, copying and pasting, sending those along, and really be able to capture that revenue and be able to collect that those credit card payments as part of that e-signature piece. Collect the money and the signature at the same time. It's not a 2-step process. So at that point, I'm going to go ahead and close this. We'll go back to our slide, Laura, and I'm going to have you go ahead and give a little more detail on what we want to do next. We've got some questions. I do have some questions, Laura, if you'd be open to answering a couple of these. Thank you guys very much for submitting these. One question, I know when we had the email that was sent that I opened up, we mentioned some branding. What type of custom branding, and can you do custom branding with Sertifi, Laura?
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the main reasons people like to go with our solutions in regard to the branding piece of it, is because you can brand it, it's all HTML, so you can brand it whatever you need it to say, also with your logo. So if you looked at it, as Chris showed you, there wasn't any Sertifi information. It comes from the, the sender, the rep who sent it out through Salesforce, their Salesforce name, as well as your company name and logo. Again, HTML too. You can change it to say whatever you need to.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. Question also as well, what if customers want to print, kind of wet sign and fax that back? I'm sure it's a small segment in that pie chart. I know that you had 97% prefer e-signature piece, but is there a way if customers wanted to do a hard copy, print, sign, and fax that back? Is that possible?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a print, sign, and fax option. The nice thing about that is that when they open up the document, they will see that option at the type, so it gives them the option to do that. But what happens is that your customer actually scans it back to a barcode, so you as a sender and you as a company are still receiving those documents back electronically. So they go back right into Salesforce, which is nice. So you're not going to have paper lying around. They can print it off, sign it, and scan it back directly to Salesforce.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Question about the payments. So as you capture that and those recipients are able to enter payment information, tell me a little bit more about that. What I wanted to find out was what payment services do you guys integrate with? So depending on what folks are using for their credit card processing or payment processing or ACH, how do you guys integrate with that? And is there any additional cost or services that go with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we do basically is that we use a gateway to integrate right into your processor. So what your customers are seeing is usually what they're going to be seeing if you have any online payment solution. And we use that to collect either ACH. In some instances, we have a couple gateways that will allow to collect ACH and credit card. And so we take that information in a PCI-compliant manner, sent to your processor. So the good thing about it is that you're collecting the information, the payment information, in a PCI-compliant manner, but it's everybody in the finance or accounting, they're still doing the same on their back end because they're going to be logging into whatever gateway or processor they're using now and do everything the same. But now, instead of sending it out, they have all the information they need. So you can really recognize that revenue a lot quicker. And I can talk if you guys have any questions specific around processors and gateways that we use. I'm more than happy to talk to you about that and send you a list of those. As well, Chris, you mentioned pricing on that. We do it per transaction, so you basically get a bucket of payment transactions that are sent, and there's a fee for that, a flat fee. So maybe you need to only send 500 throughout the year, or you need to send 10,000. We have different fees for that. We don't do a percentage of the flat fee. So if you're interested in payments, we can also send you pricing on that as well. Okay.
Wonderful. And then last question, Laura, it always comes down when we have the webinars is, tell us a bit about pricing. How does pricing and licensing for Sertifi work? And what's the next step? How do we get started?
Yeah, absolutely. So our pricing is based off of users. Again, payments is an additional fee, but if you are just looking at signature portion, it's based off of users, and that does include our Conga and Salesforce integration. We start at $20 a user. We do have some special pricing for our Conga customers, so we'll start it at $15 as Conga does, with a minimum of 5 users. That price does include implementation, setup, training, ongoing training if necessary, IT support, customer support, as well as unlimited documents sent. So we do have different tiers. The more users you have, obviously the price goes down. That is monthly, and it's on a year contract. So if you need a quote or anything like that, you can email me or go to our website and send in a request for a quote, and we'd be more than happy to get that to you.
Wonderful. Hey, that's great, Laura. Thanks so much. I'm going to hop to your Dreamforce slide if you want to speak to that.
We've been at Dreamforce a couple of years now. If anybody's gone or has been in the past, it's definitely a week to remember. It's very busy, but it's great to learn about new applications, who's out there, the integrators, all of that. So we have a booth at Dreamforce, well, you'll see there, Moscone West, with our booth number W119, as well as the village for Zora. They actually have an area where you can go in and meet and just kind of relax there. So there's 2 options for you to meet there. We do have, if you want to sign up for a demo, whether that be before Dreamforce or during Dreamforce, we have that bit.ly right there. You can go ahead and write that down. We'll also, I believe, marketing will be emailing you guys this presentation so you have it, and you can actually go ahead and sign up for a demo, and we'll send you a gift card. You have a couple of different options of choosing what type of gift card, but hope to see you at Dreamforce.
Wonderful. That's terrific. Now, here's all your contact information. So folks that are still live on here, go ahead, copy that down if you want to reach out to Laura, L. Johnston at Sertifi.com. Her number's there as well. This webinar and all these slides will be posted to our Conga website probably within the next 1 or 2 business days. We are feverishly getting ready for Dreamforce as well. So, Laura, thanks again. Really appreciate it. Appreciate your time and the partnership. If you have any questions from the Conga side, from the Sertifi side, please reach out to either of us. Please stop by and see us at Dreamforce as well. And thank you very much for your attention today. We will certainly see you at Dreamforce, and any questions we can answer, please know we're always here to help. Have a great day, everyone.